Hey, everybody. Welcome to Questions with Connie. This is our second episode, and today I've got James Clay. Hey, James.
Hey, Connie, thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, we always rely on you. You've helped us with our VIP parties for years.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's interesting that when VIR first opened, um, it was a track that I could hardly afford to come to. I could, it was a new thing. It was so special, and the event pricing was a little more than other tracks. But gosh, I'm sure it's worth it. I know it's worth it now. But it's really an honor to be now at the point in our relationship that I'm number two behind Kerrigan, who's one of my favorite people. So that's pretty cool. Thank you.
I think he feels the same way. We all do. Mitchell has been so excited about this conversation. So he gave me a really long list of questions to ask, which I'm going to completely ignore.
Okay, perfect.
I'd rather talk about, just off the cuff. So I see your Bimmerworld picture in your background. I've got my Fakey Do VIR behind me, but didn't we start up about the same time?
Yeah, so my business started in '97, kind of as a start in my dorm room kind of thing, or at that point it was my apartment. When was yours? When did you open at VIR?
98. I started May 27th, 1998 with Harvey.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so right about the same time, and I wasn't into it. I say into it. By the way, Katie's down here, so I'm looking down at this puppy dog that I have to scratch her head and give her some
Okay.
treats.
Well, you'll have to give us a sneak peek.
I'm sure she'll pop up when I don't give her treats here in a second. So,
Okay.
yeah, I didn't know much about motorsports. I'm not from a motorsports family or background, and so I was kind of just still figuring it out at that time, and figuring out what racing was, and figuring out what BMWs were, because that wasn't a thing for me either until I started putting them on a racetrack. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
So was that what you first brought to the track, was a BMW, or did you work up to that?
No, that's what I first brought to the track. I had a Dodge Stealth in school, and it was not the most reliable thing, and especially after I laid my hands on it a few times to modify it. So I decided I needed something different, and German cars were just well put together, well engineered for a guy that does wrench on cars. It just made sense to me, and so I looked at a Porsche and a BMW, and ended up with the BMW. It was an old one at the time, E30 M3, which again, I couldn't afford to buy one of those today, so, but I could back then, which is crazy. But E30 M3, and just immediately went to an autocross. I said, well, that's too short. Oh, here's Katie, by the way.
Hey,
So
Katie.
she's ready for her treats now. But went to an autocross, and then went to the track, and then decided that the track was so much fun that maybe I needed to do this more often, and quit my real job, and started really pursuing my Bimmerworld interest, or BMW interest. I guess it was Bimmerworld at that time, and here we are 20 years later. Whatever.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. When you do something you love, it's it gets to, thank goodness it's been good enough to be able to keep doing what I love. But it's certainly a passion, and I'm proud of what it's turned into.
Yeah, exactly. You said that you didn't come from a motorsport background, in your family or anything. You just got bit by the bug. And the same is true with me. I had never been to a racetrack in my life when we started VIR.
Wow.
And so Harvey, we went to Oak Tree Turn, and we're looking at the expanse of the track falling off, and it's in horrible disrepair. And my heart started beating so fast. I thought, I never want to do anything but this. So
That's
it's
amazing.
been an incredible journey. It's pretty cool. So,
I've seen the pictures, and I would really I would have loved to have been more involved in those days, because I can't imagine finding what you found. I mean, it's such an amazing track. It's a world-class track. And to be able to see that as what it was before you brought it back to life would have been pretty special.
Hey, we've got a lot more to do. So stay tuned and be engaged. Share your ideas with us freely, especially
Awesome.
Kerrigan. Get right up in his face.
Perfect.
Oh, so tell me about Katie.
Oh, so Katie is our office dog. She belongs to Carrie's. Carrie's our general manager. She belongs to Carrie. But she hangs out. She's an adopted dog, and as you know, that's a big thing for me. So yeah, I don't know. Katie's awesome because dogs just make the workplace better, and so we've had a dog. Not always Katie, but we've had a dog here for the past, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years, and
Oh, that's nice.
it's just awesome. So
That's really nice. So, how many rescue dogs have you had?
well, personally, just one right now. But I grew up with I did grow up with a family that had rescue dogs. So we fostered dogs. We before that was really such an organized thing. We always adopted our dogs. I was raised by beagles. I had three beagle sisters that were puppies when I was a child, and or when I was born, and so I kind of grew up with them, and we had up to 8 or 9 dogs at one point, and
Wow.
just as we went through them, trying to find them good homes, and we end up keeping more than half, of course, but that's just how that works, and nothing wrong with that. So
No, we have good friends at the Tracomona Villa, Eric and Jill Cruz. I don't know how many rescues they have, probably 5 or 6 or 7 right now. But
hmm
the most recent one is the most gorgeous German Shepherd you've ever laid eyes on. And the one before that is this scruffy little white thing that's deaf and blind. And
wow.
so they bring it to the track, and it's so hard to walk that dog to the paddock.
It's I love dogs, and I do have breeds that are my preference, but the reality of it is these rescue dogs are just all so cool, and just such awesome personalities. Of course, depends on the dog. There's a wide range, but um, you know I love Dobermans. I love Great Danes. I'd love to have one of those, but I'm never going to go to a breeder and get a dog because there's so many out there that need homes. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a pretty big advocate of that.
We had a rescue Great Dane at the track, Emily.
Oh, wow.
She was big. She was the one with the litter, but I have never been a dog person. I've never had a dog, but dogs love me. And no
Oh,
matter how big they are, they always want to lick my knees, whether I have pants or a dress or whatever. So I
right.
don't know what that is, but
Well,
hopefully,
that must have been fun for you then.
yeah, it kind of takes me a little getting used to. But as soon as I know that they accept me, then I'm no longer afraid.
Awesome.
So that's pretty neat. I like to hear that story. I think you have another interest in Alzheimer's. Is that a
Yes.
business partnership or a personal interest or both?
So they're a friend of mine who is our charity partner on our race team, has founded Racing to End Alzheimer's. So it's a charity, and again, like so many things that we do well, it's a charity that is a personal passion of his. Unfortunately, his wife was, I say Phil Frings. He's a great dude out in California. You'll see him this week at BIR when we come race with you. But Phil is from, or not from California, living in California currently. His wife developed Alzheimer's, and this is a way for him to, of course, that's tough to deal with. So this is a way that I think he is able to deal with it, kind of process it, use kind of what's a tragedy as fuel, to do something about it, to do something more than just be miserable with the situation. So we collect money through the year. We have people's names that we put on our race car, so their loved ones or the person they want to honor or whatever rides on the race car for the full year, and we send them some pictures and plaque at the end of the year and so forth, for a donation, and then donations are matched. I think we have 3 matching partners now, so I think we've given from the effort about $500,000 at this point, and that goes to 100%. So this is not part of our racing budget. All money that we get goes out to either fund the cure fund the caregivers, because there's, certainly it's a challenge for some people that are dealing with this to, to find the money to do so. And then of course, just the awareness of how many people are touched by Alzheimer's, and which is, it was kind of eye-opening to me. So this is something we started a few years ago, four years ago, I think. And I'm, you're just surprised by the people that pop up and have personal stories. And this is how it's affected my life. So it's racing is a great vehicle for awareness and charitable giving. And so I'm glad that we have a good partner.
That's awesome. I had to take a deep breath. My father died of Alzheimer's. And his mother before him. So it's a very personal disease. I mean, I can't imagine anything that comes close to what you go through and what they go through and what they don't know they're going through. But
right.
I'll buy a name.
Well, let's see. I think we're racing to end Alzheimer's.com. And of course, there's links on our social for how to do that, and maybe we'll put a link on this video. So, but certainly appreciate anything, and just appreciate being able to talk about it. Thank you.
Yeah, my sister's on her way to visit with me, and so she has a cause marketing agency, and they've done some work for Alzheimer's, and I'm sure she'll be up for her name also.
Awesome. So
that's very cool.
Well, thank you.
One of my, on a lighter note, I don't start crying or anything. One of my favorite moments with you was when you were racing Barbie cars at Hyperfest.
Okay.
And I can't remember what car you had. Andy Lally had this silly fire truck, and you had something comparable.
I had a Mustang, unfortunately. There was a guy in a BMW, but I had a Mustang. But it was the Redline Oil Mustang, and that's what they wanted to run, so that's what we did.
Where did you find it?
They brought it. So I guess Redline Oil and Coney co-sponsor a car / that downhill event. And by the way, that is absolutely one of the scariest things I've ever done at VIR. I was just there for the past couple of days running an LMP3 car, which is pretty wild and pretty eye-opening. And I think we were in the 40s around the track.
Wow.
Which is pretty quick. 160 at the end of the back straight, which I've been faster in one of my street cars, but just the speed through the turns on those things is pretty wild. But that downhill in a Power Wheels with the motor stripped out of the Power Wheels and those plastic tires that just have no grip whatsoever is terrifying.
And you're so big.
Right. I have a lot of potential energy. That's the secret. As long as I could get that thing to turn, and I figured out how to roughly make that happen. As long as I got that thing to turn, I was going to do pretty well in that event.
Are you coming back?
So I am. I think so. It's been tough. Like last year we had COVID, and the year before that there was some. I think maybe Pikes Peak was a schedule conflict. This year, again, COVID's just minimally affected us. We were supposed to go into Canada, and now we can't travel as a team into Canada. So I've had one of our races in the SRO series has been rescheduled to be on top of that event. So again, this year I will not be able to be there. I think I'm going to come for the Friday, but I can't. I don't think I can stay to run a downhill Power Wheels this time. But that's all right. Everybody needs a chance to win. I've had my chance.
So you're going to be there on Friday for the Ultimate Track Car Challenge.
That's right. We're running Pikes Peak this year. We've had a 3-4 year build in process, and so assuming it's still drivable at the end of Pikes Peak, which is the end of June, I'll be bringing it to VIR to run the Ultimate Track Car.
Cool. So tell us about that car.
That car. So we call it the Bergsteiger, the mountain climber.
I wondered what that was. Okay.
Right. So it's an E36 BMW. So that to me, that means a 92 through 99 body style, which is the one that was on the cover of Motor Trend when I was a kid, Car and Driver. I remember that Dakar yellow, just the coolest car. So that's the model. And in fact, my vivid memory of VIR is when we pulled up with our 48-foot trailer. We just bought that as a business, and we rolled out our beautiful red E36 from the trailer, and I promptly stuck it in the tire wall and turned 16, I think. Lightly. It wasn't so terrible, but anyway, that was one of the first cars of our business. And so now I have a red E36 that's 1,300 horsepower, something like that, and just ridiculous downforce. It's a lot like a prototype car, more so than a BMW, but it certainly has a lot of BMW parts and looks like a BMW.
Wow.
So
That sounds awesome.
yeah, it should be fun. That'll be the fastest thing I've driven at VIR. So
I'm looking forward to that. That'll be cool.
Yeah, thanks.
So you've driven in a bunch of different series.
Yes, bunch of different series. Almost always with the BMW. I've driven in a couple of other things here and there, but I'm primarily a BMW person.
Mm-hmm. So which one did you enjoy the most?
Which series?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I really enjoyed the touring cars that we ran in the late 2000s. So that was in World Challenge, and they were touring cars that we built. So we've kind of shifted now to the era of road cars that have so much electronic integration that you almost have to run a factory car, and all the factories are making customer racing so available, so you can just go buy your BMW, buy your Audi, buy your Porsche, your whatever, put stickers on it and go race it. But 20 years ago, we were building the cars, we were coming up with our own technology. We were largely getting rid of the electronics. We had to run an engine, and the engines had started to advance and had a lot of controls. So we had to sort out the electronics on that. But then the rest of the car was very much a mechanical car. So those things were super cool. And being able to drive, I've driven some of our old cars in more modern times, and it also helps that's probably something that inspired me a little bit to start on this whole journey, because we used to get back from the bars in college, and 2 a.m. and we had the Speed Channel, of course, and the Speed Channel would show the touring car races, and I said, that's what I want to do. So that, I think that late 2000s was kind of the heyday of racing those things, and just such cool cars and such great racing.
Oh yeah, we used to have these huge fields. Remember Motorola Cup one year? I think we started 111.
Wow.
That's a lot of traffic.
I've had that many cars at VIR in a chump race in recent history. Or Champ Car. I'm sorry, it's Champ Car. Our fields aren't quite as big these days, but it's racing is different too. So we'll be there this coming weekend, as you know, with the SRO Motorsports, and in our GT4 field, I think we'll have the high end of 30 cars, just close to 40 cars. But with everything, so now we've introduced BOP, right? And I think we always had a rule book or some definition that kind of kept cars balanced, but now cars can be super balanced. So and because these are all factory built, there isn't that thing that James spun up on the lathe in the back and put on their car that makes it different from the guys that did the car out in Colorado, and that whole thing. The cars are super similar. So now that it's 40 cars, but they're all kind of the same speed, and so the racing is just super intense. It's just a different way to do it, I guess.
I can't wait. I mean, I love that event, and the paddock is just so much fun, because it's a little more laid back, but it's a lot of business to business. And so all these, drivers and their crews and their family and whoever's there are all getting to know each other. And then ultimately that results in not only having a great time and great competition on the track, but good business.
Absolutely. And, this year especially, and what I think is going to be really special about it is VIR, which I love VIR anyway. And it's like going home. So this is our homecoming race. We're going to have all of our Bimmer World family and friends around, but we're going to have fans. So for the first time in over a year, we actually have fans in the paddock. So I'm really, really looking forward to that.
So are we. Open Paddock and Lamborghini Super Trofeo is going to join SRO this
Hmm.
coming weekend, and I'm going to be there day and night. I can't wait. I'm so excited. That's great.
Well, me
Uh,
too.
so have you, since you've driven in so many series and you're building this mountain goat or whatever you called it, could you take that thing to the Bonneville Flats?
Oh gosh, we could. That is a different challenge. It's I think it would do well there. It has tremendous downforce, and downforce is a part of that. We've had to add a lot of upper body aero that's a little bit less efficient for the mountain, because on the mountain the air is so thin, and the speeds are slower. So you need as much downforce as you can get, and it takes a lot of extra element to get it because of the thin air. So at sea level, I think we're thinking that thing is going to be over 5,000 pounds of downforce. So on par with a modern top level Formula car, Formula One, Indy car, something like that. But I don't know what that thing would do in the salt flats. I don't know if I want to be in that thing in the salt flats. I think if I survive Pikes Peak this year, I might just hang that thing on the wall and call it a day.
Well,
After I bring it to VIR, of course.
yeah, after the Ultimate Track Car Challenge. So I'm going to
That's
have
right.
to figure out. I know Virginia has started something in online betting, and so I know who I'm betting on for the UTCC.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
I'm going to look forward to that. It's going to be great. So I want to go back a little bit to Katie
Yep.
and hear a little more about, what you get involved with and passionate about the rescue dogs, the handies at Sasco Sports and the industrial park at VIR. Gosh, they may have 17 dogs right now, but so many of our friends are into rescue. What's your angle on that?
Well, I'm still finding my footing there. And we talked to some of your marketing team, which I know well from other things that we do, and kind of when COVID hit, we thought, okay, now we have some time that we don't know what we're going to do with, and so what can we put together, and how can we put together something that's meaningful, to positively affect rescue dogs, or the rescue dog situation, or perceptions, or whatever that is. And then of course in COVID something magical happened, and everybody had time at home, and said we should have a dog. And so kind of the shelters got cleaned out. It's tough to even find a rescue dog these days. They're just one of our guys that's in our Northeast office had adopted a dog from Texas, because that's where he was able to find one. So it's a great place in the world right now that demand is much higher than supply for all these pups. So and then of course post COVID, things have just been so wild at work, so it's been difficult to really dig in. I didn't know that was going to be the case the first month or so, but after that it's just been busy. So I haven't officially figured out how to approach it. I know that my next career after race car driver and Bimmer World and all of that is going to be somehow rescue dog related. I'm just trying to figure out how to best do that.
Well, now you've got a lot of people hearing you say that and who will be thinking about it, because it's such a passion for so many people, and in racing. We participate in a rescue effort at Laguna Seca. Sometimes they do that overlay with the IMSA event and the historic. So you just are always bumping into it, and it's great. So
Absolutely.
I will offer my knees to any dog you get.
Well, good for you, Connie. You are becoming a dog person.
So we're going to see you back at VIR this coming week. I guess you'll get in probably Tuesday.
A little bit shorter events for us, which is kind of one of the side benefits of the changing landscape of racing in the last year or two. So we have no test days this year, so I think we load in to Thursday, and since it's a local event for us, I think we drive in Thursday morning.
Okay.
So Thursday we're on track for some practice on Friday. I think we qualify and race on Saturday and race again on Sunday.
Well, that sounds good. That sounds really good. I think David Murray may have the days before that event, so you might be able to sneak a car out if you need to.
Well, yeah, we thought about that. We needed more time to fix what, so we wrecked all three of our cars in Texas at the last SRO race. So the guys have just been full speed ahead, rebuilding cars and long hours, long days, et cetera. So we were able to get on track this morning at VIR. Thank you, and thanks to the guys at the ALS charity event that were able to host us for that. So we really appreciate them. But we got the time that we needed. We confirmed that the cars are good to go, which is really a concern for us because if not, we needed a week to fix them, not the 2 days between the Murray event and the actual race. So now our guys get a 3-day weekend, and we're going to have a little time away from cars before we come back full speed.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you just teed me up for a shameless plug. So one of the things that we offer our industrial park businesses is free lunchtime testing on most days. So that way, just like you experienced this morning, knowing the right person on the right day, they can get out almost any lunchtime and shake down the cars and know that when they get to the track, they do what they're supposed to.
And I love that industrial park, and I've seen that Sonoma has a similar set of shops, and I can tell you I would absolutely locate my business there if I could, but we have so many people here that live here, et cetera, that it's not feasible for us. But what an amazing environment, and absolutely would be a place to, if you have a race shop, I would put it there too.
Yeah. Well, you have built an amazing team, and that is the hardest part of everything we all do. I mean, we can build a pretty track. That's not all that hard. But staffing it correctly and operating it efficiently and safely to bring people such as yourself and all your fans out to VIR, that's what is the hard part, but also the most rewarding part to me.
Yeah, you have such a great team there, and everybody is, it feels like home because people treat you like a family there, which I really enjoy about it. Maybe it's just that Southern hospitality that's a little bit baked into what we do, but beyond that, you're so forward thinking on how to approach things and eyes wide open. And willing to change. I know you're going to be willing to change that roundabout that you installed, right? Should I bring that up? Can we talk about the change that's needed there? Or...
Talk about it. You can talk about anything.
No, but
so many people, and we've gotten so many complaints, and then come back for their next visit. And they're like, I think I'm figuring it out. It's not that bad anymore. We had to slow people down because they get the red mist and they run through the stop signs.
Right.
So that was a necessary evil.
No, I think you guys do a great job, and whether it's improving the track, making the track safer, the policies you implement, and just everything about it, you're constantly evolving that place and making it one of the absolute best tracks in the world. So I really do appreciate that.
Well, thank you, and thanks for coming to see us. No one comes because they have to; they all come because they want to.
Yes, ma'am.
It has been my pleasure talking with you today, James, and I will see you next week.
Thanks, Connie. I've absolutely enjoyed it, and we'll see you on Thursday.
All righty. I'll be there. Bell's on. Take care.